Welcome to Revolutionary Mindset with Mike Mitch. I'm here today with my wonderful brother friend, Marquis Hogains. And we're going to be talking about today kind of the mindset and of well-being and of keeping a positive mindset, not only how that dictates and how to cultivate a life of well-being and optimism in your own life, but also others around you. Marquis is involved in a lot of community outreach. He's a teacher. He's a learner. And above all, he's a good soul. So first off, can you just kind of explain briefly what you do?
One of my main passions is teaching kids yoga specifically, and not necessarily the asana practice of yoga, like the movement of yoga, but more so just the mindset of yoga. I explain to kids, like the two boys that I babysit every day, they're 11 years old, and I explain to them that
you like to say you're a manny, right?
I like to say I'm a manny. A man, nanny. And even more than that, I'm a guide and a mentor, and I guide them towards that mentality of, I'm doing yoga as I'm driving. Because if I wasn't mind, body connected with the car, with the road, with the people around me, would crash.
Right.
I explained to them that yoga doesn't just happen on the mat; it happens all over the place.
Right. That's awesome. What do you see are some of those barriers that stop us from being connected, mind, body, and soul?
I think one of the biggest things that prevents us from just really tapping into our own potential is the idea that we can't. I like to go back to as children we're taught that Santa is real. Like magic.
Wait, you're telling me that Santa's not real?
So as kids, they tell us oh, there's this magical being who is here to give you whatever you want as long as you're a good boy or girl. And then one day they tell you, no, he doesn't exist. And I feel like that message sort of gives to us magic doesn't exist.
Wow.
And especially doesn't exist within us. If it didn't exist outside of us, how could it ever exist within us? Especially if that's not told to us. And so I think one thing that's really stopping us is just realizing the potential that we have within our souls. That light that each of us has.
I feel like a lot of times, especially in Christian culture where I grew up, and with political things, and everything's happening outside of us. It's and God is this external force. He's this, somewhere out there, and if only I can reach it and attain it. But I feel like you're saying we need to acknowledge the God within.
And that's a taboo subject. If you tell a Christian that God is within you, I've heard.
Well, they say, "Oh, you're talking about the Holy Spirit, right?"
Yeah. They're like, no, you are not God.
Right.
And that's not what any of us are saying. We're not saying necessarily that I am a God. It's that whatever aspect of God that we have, it's actually something that we've conceived of from inside of ourselves.
Right.
It came from here.
Now, how does that relate to keeping an optimistic mindset and a positive mindset within yourself, and how do you relay that message in your practice and in your community?
I think a lot of it will always go back to we have it. We already have it.
Yeah.
If we can find that strength to be positive, whatever the circumstances, whether we're living on the street, whether we are at a job that we don't like, a relationship that we don't like, a job that we love, a relationship we love, wherever we are,
right.
It's just realizing that you made a choice to arrive there. You are there. Are you going to be optimistic about the situation or pessimistic and fail to move forward? Optimism is what drives us to go make more changes in the world.
Absolutely. So what are some of the strengths that you see and that you have been able to cultivate with your job as being a manny, or you teach yoga as well to kids? what are some of the strengths that you see and have been able to cultivate?
Woo! Patience.
Oh, okay.
Patience, young one. I have found so much patience. Working with kids and in my own yoga practice, I found that just not being so hard on ourselves, on myself,
Yeah.
when I'm on the mat.
Yeah.
Thinking like, I can't get this pose right. It's that pose that you're in right now is the pose that you're supposed to be in.
Yeah.
And that's where you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And get comfortable there so you can then move forward. Allowing yourself to go through it, you know,
Absolutely.
and not force something else to happen. One of my good friends, Anna Cantwell, she teaches yoga and meditation, and she has this phrase, be the gentle observer. And so, not just observe, you know, because if you observe, you might be like, you know, just like judgy.
Sure.
But if you're gently observing it, you're just like, okay, this is what's happening, and it's perfect.
Wow. I love that. If you were to give somebody some guidance, some insight into how to become their best self, their most prime, optimal self, what would you say to them?
Really gotta take a breath before these questions because it's just like.
Should we do that right now?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Just take a deep breath.
And you know, really, that would be my advice to someone is take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
It's again, just like get here. You're here, but I feel like, you know, a lot of times our hearts are pounding, our minds are going.
Yeah.
We're worried about what's going on around us.
Yeah.
I have the experience often. I'm getting better at it, but like walking down the street.
Yeah.
And just feeling like everybody's watching me, you know? And so I'm just like very conscious of my walk, conscious of like everything that I'm doing with my hands, just like, but then I look and like no one's actually watching me, you know? And then when I breathe, I'm like, oh, none of that actually matters. What's going on with me? I'm thinking about what other people are probably thinking about me, so I'm not actually here. Breathe, get here, and like experience whatever this is. We miss so many lessons in our life because we're worried about what other people are thinking and what other advice someone else can give us.
Wow.
Breathe.
That's awesome. So what I hear you saying is like to be your most optimal self, to function at your peak performance, to keep a positive mindset, simply be in the present, because the present really isn't that bad.
It's really all that we have, you know?
Right.
It's really all that we have. We can be so caught up in what's happened in the past or where we want to be in the future, and all the while we're not living our best life right now.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for sharing with us today. Marquis, do you want to tell them a little bit about your project, your latest ambition and move?
Yeah, and I was in the process of pre-producing my own YouTube channel called Wise and Uncomfortable, and my whole approach to that is, you know, I'm part of a community who we're constantly just like throwing events, coming together and healing, how we can push culture forward, move culture forward.
Absolutely.
And what I'm finding is
which is awesome, because that was also part of my vision. So it was like we're both looking out and we're like, oh, we're aligning, we're writing.
I think a lot of us are doing that. We're all just realizing
Yeah.
like, hey, we have this thing inside of us, and we can't just keep it for ourselves. We gotta like connect and share that and heal together. And I think the best way to do that, it's not just about gathering, because we do that all the time. It's about having a conversation. And so I feel like conversation catalyzes healing.
Wow.
You know?
Absolutely.
To just realize someone else is going through exactly what you're going through. I think that's the beauty of the human experience. And so Wise and Uncomfortable is a show where we come together in an intimate setting and just discuss the things that we're experiencing, the things that we want to see for the world, and figure out how to do that together through conversation.
That's right. Well, this was a Revolutionary Mindset with Marquis Hogains, Wise and Uncomfortable, and myself, Mike Mitch. That's cultivating a revolutionary mindset. showing up for the moment, being present, serving in our communities, moving culture forward. Realizing that every moment is yoga. Every moment is a time to connect your mind, your body, your soul with your surroundings, and just tune into becoming our best self. If you like the video, comment, subscribe, maybe even share it. So that's going to be out for us today. Peace, blessings, and love.